Hi there, it's Leonard here from Cosmic Sound. I'm going to talk today about something very exciting. It's just come out from Alan and Heath. This is the new Xone DB4 mixer. Now, to start with, let's just say this is a very expensive mixer, so it's not going to be for everybody, but certainly if you play house or techno and you're looking for an extremely professional mixer, this for me is the best mixer I've ever put my hands on. I wouldn't normally be so subjective about things, but after having a good play with this thing, I just can't imagine using a mixer that would be better than this. So let's go through this and I'll show you a few things. Alright, first up, let's just have a look at what we've got on the back of this mixer. First thing you'll notice is your 4 pairs of inputs as you'd normally have on any mixer. 2 of these are phono line switchable, so forget having 3 turntables, that's unfortunately not going to happen. But you can connect 4 CD players, 2 turntables, 2 CDs, whatever combination that you want. We've got a digital record out. This is at 24-bit 48 kilohertz if you want to record to mini disc or some other digital format. And we've also got 4 digital ins if you've got say CDJ 2000, some sort of other digital device you want to input here. And further outputs, we've got booth, we've got record out, which is on RCA, and your main outs, which are on XLR. We've also got down the bottom here 4 deck starts. Now these are for small TRS jacks. This is if you want to connect CDJs and actually turn them on with the fader on the mixer, you can do that. We've also got USB, which connects the 18.8 out sound card. This is at 2496. And we've got this little thing here, X-Link, which is basically a network port. This will be used in the future to connect other Allen and Heath hardware to this mixer. Alright, so let's take a look at the features of this mixer. So first thing you'll notice, as we discussed before, is the matrix inputs on the back. Now you've got a selector at the top here. You can select from analog, USB, which is from the sound card, or digital, which are the coax inputs at the back. Because I'm using Tractor right now, we're going to keep this on USB to use the sound card. You've got a choice of the 4 inputs at the top, so basically any channel can have any input assigned to it. It's matrix input, you can assign this any way that you want. Moving immediately below that, what you'll notice is we've lost the customary 4-band EQ from the Xone 92 in favour of this 3-band configuration. But where this gets really quite special is that you now have 3 options with what these knobs can do. First one at the top is isolation mode. This is a full cut, which is different to Alan and Heath's normal approach. So you'll see the encoders light up blue when you're on this isolation mode. Next mode down is EQ. So this is just a 26 dB cut, and +6 if you go to the right. Third mode, which is something very interesting, is filter mode. So what this does is it basically turns these 2 encoders into filters and this one here into resonance. So essentially you've got a high pass and a low pass filter independent and a resonance knob for both of them. Immediately below this we have got the loop roll section. So very simply what happens is that the incoming signal is calculated by the mixer to analyze it for BPM. Then you have this encoder here to select the value we want to loop to, and then you simply click it to turn it on and click it again to turn it off. I'll just put some music through here and show you. So essentially the mixer's picking up the signal, analysing it, determining the BPM. So when I hit this button, we get loop roll. We can go the other way as well, so this will loop 2 bars. That's the loop again. So next section below this we have got the effects section. Now this is Alan and Heath's first mixer to use effects, and I've got to say they are extremely impressive. They state in the manual that they're actually studio grade effects, and I totally agree. I would happily use these in my productions. You can actually use them via the sound card in your production if you wanted to use this in the studio. So I'll show you a little bit about them. Basically what you've got is you've got 5 buttons here. Each one of these here will select a different type of effect. So right now we're on a delay, and we've got the buttons here to arm them at the bottom, and then you've got a wet dry knob here. So you'll hear as I bring this up, delay increases, and eventually we fade to just the effect back down again. You've also got the expression knob here, and this will actually just automate a second parameter of the effect. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than others, but they all sound really, really nice. So you're not limited to just one sound though per effect. If you hit this little select button down here, you notice on the screen you get a choice of presets. So we can pick a different one. go. Also on the screen over here, what you've got here is a value here for the timing of the effect. And another really special thing, click this encoder here, you'll get another parameter that you can affect. So if we set this to wet, you'll hear that I can actually change the filter value. The high pass filter I can change. And if I keep going this way, I get a low pass filter. So that is really cool. So I mentioned you've got 5 choices here. So first one at the top is delay. Next one down we've got is reverb. This sounds really good as well. So we're moving into wet. And so don't forget you've got the second expression knob here, which will change something with each effect. So value again, we've got filter we can change on this. And again, if we go in here, you actually get quite a lot of different options. Different halls, different rooms, arenas, whatever you want. Next one here, we start to get some interesting modding effects in here. So a reverser, this actually sounds really cool. Got this effect called Tronic, which is pretty interesting as well, especially if you use this expression knob. Some mods, standard phaser, we got a ring modulator. Everyone loves a ring modulator. So you can get some really interesting effects here. And your final one here, now there's actually a couple of dangerous little ones in here. We got a distortion here, you can see this absolutely slams the levels. And same, you got a bit crusher here that's quite aggressive. Basically what you've got here is actually 4 distinct effects processes, as you can see here, channels 1, 2 and 3 and 4. All of the incoming signals are analysed and processed separately. So in theory you could actually have 4 tracks of completely different BPMs playing, and it will analyse them and apply the effects to them in time on each channel. They're controlled by on button at the bottom of the track. Bottom of each channel you'll find one of these. Where this is also really cool is you can use it as either push on, push off latch mode, or you can use them as momentary if you hold it down, like so. Below here is pretty standard what you'll find on the Xone 92. You've got 2 filters, which can be, any of the channels can be assigned to. So right now I've got this channel assigned to filter 1. So there it is, I can turn it on. Now, where these filters are a little bit different to the previous models, they're actually an analog emulation. They're not an analog filter, they're an emulation of the Xone filter. So they do, to me, sound a little bit different. They do sound a little bit more digital, but as I said before, I'm more than happy to forsake those analog filters for all the other excellent things that you get on this mixer. As before, you've got 3 different modes: high pass, band pass and low pass. You can also combine different modes by clicking 2 at once. As with the effects buttons, these can also be a momentary, so we can have this track going. Like so. Below this, obviously, you've just got your cue buttons. Very simple, as in on any mixer. Channel faders and crossfader. If we go over to the far side of the mixer, you'll notice that we've got a switch here to control both the channel fader curve and the crossfader curve. Other things that are very interesting, the USB routing. Now this is where this mixer gets very, very interesting. Essentially what you've got here is an 8-in, 8-out sound card. So you can bring in any track. So right now I'm using this mixer, it's coming straight in from Tractor. So each channel from Tractor is assigned to one channel on the mixer. You can also do this on the way back out. So given that you've got 8 inputs back into your computer, what you can do is send any channel to one of those inputs. You can send the booth, you can send the master, you can send the record out, you can send the cue, you can send the mix from your headphones, whatever you want. You can arrange this however you want to do it, so it gives you heaps of creative options for recording your sets back in, or sending your audio to any other place that you might want to do. So another thing we've got is this channel over here, which is quite interesting. Similar to the channel you get on the Xone 92, but a little bit different in setup. So essentially what we have here is a mic line channel, mic port at the top if you're so inclined to use a microphone. You've got a pair of RCAs in here for an extra stereo pair if you wanted to line in something like Machine or some other sort of hardware that you've got. Simple gain, simple EQ. Very interesting though, we've got this switch here, so it can either route straight to the mix, or you can send it to channel 1, which actually takes over from anything else that you may have assigned here. The mic light will light up, and then what you can do is use the effects, the EQ, filters, whatever you want on the mic channel. So one more thing we've got to look at is this little interesting port up here, USB on the top. I've got to admit, I thought when I first saw this that you could record out to USB. Unfortunately, a little bit disappointed you can't do that, but what this can do is very, very interesting. So first thing, you can back up all your settings onto it and reload them. So say for example, you're going to go to a club which has one of these mixers, you've got one at home, you can save all your settings onto stick, go to the club, whack it in, and there you go, you've got your mixer. The other thing it can be used for is firmware updates when they're released, and probably my favourite thing is that Allen and Heath plan to release more presets for these effects, which will be downloadable and installable via this USB port as well. So we've been looking at the Allen and Heath Xone DB4, brand new from Allen and Heath. Just to wrap up, I will reiterate what I said earlier, and I don't say this lightly. This is singly the best mixer I've ever put my hands on, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. As I also said, it is quite pricey. It's not for everybody. If you're looking for a serious professional mixer for dance music, this has got to be the one to go for. Probably the biggest thing I noticed about it, having a mix on this, is the sound quality. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you want to check one out, come in and see us in store at Cosmic Sound, or check it out online at our online store at cosmic.com.au.